Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Here we share beginner-friendly coding tutorials on Scratch, Roblox, Minecraft, web programming, and many more. Today, we're going to take a look at part 3 of our Advanced Obby game tutorial. In this video, I will teach you on how to design 3 obstacles. The first one would be a spinning obby obstacle, followed by a laser maze obstacle, and finally an obstacle called choose the correct platform. So let's get started. Alright, so here I have opened up my previous Roblox file in the Roblox Studio, which contains all the obstacles which I have designed previously. So I do have my leap of faith, and then the laser platforms, and then I have my conveyor belt here, and then I have some mini jumping platforms up here. Alright, so I'm going to continue from here. So the first obstacle I would be creating is called choose the correct platform. Alright, so in this obstacle, the player have to correct the correct platform or the correct lane out of the 3 options that is given. Because 2 of these lanes are going to be invisible trap in which when the player steps onto them, they will fall through. So the platforms, the invisible platforms would be changed alternatively, so they have to be extra careful on choosing the correct platform. So let's get started with that. So once I have created my jumping platforms here, I'm going to add a checkpoint. So I'm going to toolbox and I'll be adding a spawn location, which would also act as a checkpoint. So I'm adding a neutral spawn. All right, and I'm going to anchor it. So make sure that it's anchored. All right, so I'm going to make my 3 lanes across this base plate. So first I'm going to create a tiny base plate that is going to be our base. So I'll just add another part and stretch it along using scale. Like that. And make sure that you anchor them. Alright, so now I'm going to draw long lanes. So the lanes would be changed in 3 sessions. So I'll just add another block. So this one is going to be long. So I'm going to add 1, 2, and then 3. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer so that it's fitting. It's kind of like a fork shape, as you can see here. So you can make it shorter and have more of the choosing platform obstacles like sessions. I'll just make it a little bit longer. Make a copy of this platform and paste it here. So this means that I have finished 1 session. So for now, I'm going to select the middle lane as my correct lane, or the line that is not an invisible trap. So I'll just change the color a little bit to be green. So green is for go. Alright, and then I'm going to rename this part as invisible part. So renaming helps us to identify parts more easily. So I do know that on the workspace. If I change my colors back onto the colors I want, and then later on I need to check which one is my invisible part. If I have renamed it, I can identify them easily. Okay, so I'm going on to the next part and I'm going to rename it to be invisible. Okay, so I'm going to rename this as correct lane. You can write as correct part or correct lane. All right, and then I'm going to make things easier, I'm going to copy this lane, and then so I'm going to switch my correct lane and then add my invisible traps. If you do one part and if you copy it, it would be easy so that the parts are also getting renamed automatically. Alright, and then I do have some gaps, so I'll be fixing that. Now I'm going to color them. So it would be easy if I have 3 colors that is going to keep on repeating on every session. Alright, so you can see that the platforms are being changed, and then I'll just color the bases. Okay, so now I'm going to write the code in Lua that makes the invisible platform to not to collide with the player when they step onto them. So it's a really easy code. So I'm going to the workspace and I'll find an invisible part. So I'm going to add a script into it. Alright, so the first thing is I'm going to make it a little bit transparent. So not too much, because if you make it more transparent, it's easy for the player to identify. So I'm going to write script dot parent dot transparency is equal to 0.1, and then I had to make sure that anything that is being collided on this platform is going to be false, which makes my player to go through or falls down through the platforms when it steps onto these invisible lanes. So I'm going to make script dot parent dot can't collide is equal to false. Alright, so it's the same script for the other invisible part. So let's do something easy. So I'm going to copy this script, and then I'm going to select all my invisible parts. So you can click on one invisible part and hold your shift key and click on the other invisible parts like this, and right click on your mouse or your keypad or your trackpad, and then click on paste into selected, and the script would be automatically pasted. So I do have few more invisible parts here. Alright, so that's the script for your invisible part, and we have done with our first obstacle. So now let's go on to the second obstacle, which is going to be a laser maze. Alright, so I'm going to start here and I'm going to add another neutral point or a spawn location. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and add in the spawn location here. So I'm going to make my maze here that's filled with laser walls. So first I'm going to add my base. So I'll just make it black color because the lasers I will be coloring in red color. So I need a platform or a base that's going to be sticking out or show my lasers to be a little bit more sharper. And then I'm going to make some parts again. So this time I'm going to choose my laser color, so I'll just make it red color, and the material should be neon. And then I'll just make it bigger like this. Use scale function and create a part like this, or maybe even bigger so that it's actually designs into walls of a maze. So I'll just make one here like that. And once I have made one, I'll just rename it as laser because we do have to write a code for this. Alright, so next I'll just keep on creating some walls. Make sure the walls are not too near each other because you have to have some space in order for your player to move around. Okay, so I have created a mini laser maze. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one of these walls to be a little bit more transparent so the player would not actually see it. So it's kind of like being a little bit trickier maze. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this part, the one in the middle, and I'm going to click on the property tab of this particular laser part. So if you can't find this property tab on my right corner, so you can always go to view, click on properties. So I have clicked on this one. So on the property tab, go down a little bit and you see transparency option. Okay, so right now it's 0. So I'm going to increase it. So I'm going to use the slider. Okay, so I'm going to make it like 9.5. So it's a little bit visible like this. Okay, so I have made my laser wall or the laser maze. So next I'm going to create my spinning platforms. Again, which is also going to be with lasers. Alright, so I'm going to keep on continuing this platform. So I'll just click on this, copy it, and then to rotate it, I'll just click on model and click on the rotate function. So I'm going to rotate it along the y-axis, so I'll just turn it along the green circle, and then I'm going to fix it like this. So I'm going to choose like add some like gaps, jumping platform like this. Okay, so this platform, I'm going to lift it a little bit up. Okay, so it's can be easily identified from the other platforms. So kind of like giving a little height to it. Okay, so to make my spinning platforms, I need two parts. One is for the base that's going to hold my spinning part, and the other one is going to be the actual spinning part. And to make them combine, I'm going to use an hinge. So let's see how we can make it. So first I'm going to make one platform here. So I'm going to add my base. So I'll just choose the material to be plastic and a different color. Okay, so I'm going to rename this little part. So I'll stretch it a little bit and make sure that it matches with the height of the platform, the base platform that's here. Right now it's matched. We can click on the scale and lift it. And I'm going to rename this part as base. Next, I'm going to add my spinning part. So again, I'm going to use part. And then this time I'm going to select a different color. And now I'm going to stretch it so that it's going to, the length of this is going to be the addition of this base part and this platform's width. So the length, I'm going to stretch it like that. All right. Now let's see how we can add our constraint. So first I'm going to, oh, before that, make sure that you spin or rename this part as spin. Okay, so now I'm going to click on move and lift it up a little bit. This is to make sure that you correctly hinge your parts. Later on, we are going to bring it down. I'm going to, I'm changing my camera view so that I can see the top of this base and the bottom side of the spinning platform. Yeah, this would be better so I can see the top and the bottom of this. So I'm going to click on Hinge so you can find Hinge on this tool. And then I'm going to click on this and click on Hinge. So I'm going to start from the base. So as you can see here, I'm adding a attachment and I'm going to lift it and then connect it so that it's connecting from the bottom side of the spinning platform, not to a side or to the top, it's to the bottom side of the spinning platform, like that. Alright, so the hinge constraint is attached to the base right now, but there's also another attachment on the spin. So if I click on here, I do have an attachment. Now I'm going to bring this down. So again, I'm going to click on move and bring it down. Okay, so right now the hinge would not make your platform to move because it's going to be a stationary hinge. So in order to make it move, I'm going to click on the hinge constraint and then it'll open up the property tab again. Next, I'm going to go down and there's a type or a property called acutated type. So this is telling us what kind of hinge would it or should it be. So I'm going to click on that and click on motor so that it's turning. Next on the motor, so if you go down on the property tab, I do have another property called angular velocity. So this means the speed at which the hinge should be turning. So I'm going to give a smaller number to be around 3. So you can go up to 10 or 20. So if you go to a higher number, the speed of spinning would be really, really fast. So I'm going to keep it a little bit simple, not too fast spinning. So I'll just make it 3. Next, I need to update the value of the motor max torque property. So this means the strength of the spinning. So for this, you have to give a really big number. So I'm going to give a number of 100,000. Okay, so that it pushes with a big force and then keeps on turning with a big force. All right. So you can always try this out. So let's take a look at how this spin works. So I'm going to click on play. Here I have my, as you can see here, my platform is spinning. Okay, so right now it doesn't do anything because I have not given a code for it. So, but later on we're going to fix the code so that whenever you touch this spinning platform, your health would be reduced. Alright, so one important thing is that on the spinning platform, so I'm going to create a couple of these spinning platforms. So now when you move it, you have to make sure that there is a space between this two platforms, because if you don't have enough space, they would actually get stuck into each other, and then your spinning platform could not longer spin because they're touching each other. So it's better if you give consider the length of this spinning platform, and then all right. So there's a little bit of spacing I have to do. Alright, so I have made the spacing and then made my spinning platform to be equally spaced. So now I'm going to make the Kill Sprite, which is going to make my laser walls and the spinning platforms to kill my player when they touch each other. So I'm going to click on this laser part and make a script. Okay, so I'm going to make a function that is called kill. In Lua language, the player is known as the object called humanoid. So here I have made my humanoid or the player to be a local player. Then I'm going to give the condition. So if the player touches them, they're going to reduce the health. Next, I need to write my email. So when the parent, I'm going to run the function called kill. So I'm going to make sure that this script is going to be in all the lasers and also on the spinning part of my platforms. So that's all for today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to check out the next section of this project and don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you. Bye bye.